Well, welcome back to another video. This morning I'm out at a place called Gunpowder Creek Nature Park. Place I've never been. I'm really just more like location scouting today. Just seeing what's here, see if there's something I can photograph. Excuse me. This is sometimes what you have to do when you're in an area that you don't know very well. You got to find new places to go and photograph, and this is one of them. I'm not sure how others do it, but typically I follow a pretty simple little routine. One, as I'm driving around, I'm looking for places or something that I could photograph. All right, and another thing I do is I'll ask people, where they would go to. Where do they think would be good places? Excuse me. And then when that fails or doesn't work out, then what do? Use Google, which is how I found this place. All I did was go onto Google and I just said, list parks, near me. This place came up along with several others. All right, and what do? I start looking at different reviews. I find different images. And then decide, if I'm going to go check, a particular place out. This place is, the trail here is incredibly rocky and it's steep. I don't know if you can tell. See here behind me, going back up the hill to where my car's at. All right. So that's pretty tough. Of course, I didn't bring any water with me, which, I didn't expect that I was going to be, hiking up and down a big hill. I guess I could have done more research. I didn't realize it, but, this is kind of how you, at least how I, in an area, try to find new places to photograph. Just do a little research, then go out and see what you can find. With the sun coming up, illuminating the trees here above my head is pretty nice. Turn around the camera so you can see what I'm talking about. Now you can see down the trail. You can also see the sunlight on the tops of the trees as we walk along. So it's a very interesting place. Now, does that mean there'll be a lot of things to photograph through here? Hard to say. All right, but we're going to walk around here, see what we can find. Then we'll chat some more. So thanks for coming along. All right, so hiked all the way down here to Gunpowder Creek. Haven't found a lot along the way that really excited me, but I get here and I really like what I'm seeing here. Kind of maybe you can't see it, but what I got is I've got the creek itself, got sun coming in over some of the trees down here in the distance and reflection here in the still water. So I'm going to try to capture this using my 8-18. I did put a circular polarizer on. All right, we're going to try this. I'm going to do it handheld as well. Maybe do it high and then get a little low and see what it looks like. So let's try that. Walk out here a little bit. Got to watch yourself because there's a lot of rocks. We'll start with up high and see what we get. Let's see, we're at F8. All right, we got to adjust our, all right, so we're about 1/20th of a second. Let's see, do we need to adjust the polarizer at all? There we go. All right, so let's take this shot. Shooting at 8. Again, 2-second delay. All right. Oop. Looks like there's a fish in here. Didn't expect that. Hopefully you can see me, and hopefully you can see out here what the scene is that we're taking an image of. Now what I want to do, take another one just to make sure I captured it. This time I think we're going to come in a little bit. A little bit of mist coming up off the water, or steam coming up off the water. That's pretty nice as well. Really like that. I don't know about you and where you're at, but this year the colors here have been pretty muted. It's been basically brown, a little bit of yellow, Just hasn't been much. It's been kind of a blah year. I don't know if it's because it was just dry or what, but even here you can see the creek. It's not moving. This is Gunpowder Creek, and it doesn't look like it's moving at all. So it's not, not what I would call a spectacular fall here in northern Kentucky, but you make do with what you got. So now let's see if we can get a little bit lower, capture this image, use the rock here, capture this image from a lower perspective. Same kind of setup. Polarizer adjusted. All right, let's zoom out a little bit. All right, we're underexposed. Let's come up a little bit. All right, see what we got. Yeah, like I said, this year's colors have just been, not really much to look at. Not really much to photograph. We're here late October. Nothing's changed really all month long. It's been kind of blah. Just kind of the way it's been. I don't know. It's kind of the way it's been. So, I know we can talk about here for a second. If any of the images I captured here turn out, I'm going to put them in here so you can see it. All right, so now let's talk about something else that's kind of in the news and kind of been going on. All right, the comet A3. I can't pronounce the whole name. Not even going to try. But regardless, I'm going out and trying to photograph that. The 2 nights that were supposed to be really good for seeing it, we were clouded in. Couldn't see it at all. But I spent three nights in a row out trying to find it, out trying to shoot it, basically in my backyard. All right, just see what I could do. Now, granted, there's a lot of light pollution and stuff like that, but I was able to find it, able to photograph it. All right, now what I wanted to try when I photographed that was, the starry night, autofocus on the OM1 Mark II, and what I learned trying to make all that work is that with a lot of light pollution and if the object is pretty dim in the sky, it didn't really want to work. It was just, too difficult. So I had to switch to manual focus, all right, which I did, all right, and I was able to capture a few images of it, playing around with different settings, but I'm not going to kid anybody. I struggled quite a bit. It was hard to see. Once I found it, trying to adjust ISO versus shutter speed, trying to make sure you capture it so it doesn't blur things out or you don't get a lot of star trail, was difficult, because it was, 3200 ISO. I was, and shooting at f4, which was the lowest aperture on the lens that I was using at the time. All right, that was giving me a shutter speed of about 10 seconds, and that just left a lot of mess. So I kept trying it, kept playing with it, ended up at ISO 6400. All right, and then I took, I was able to get my shutter speed down to about 3 to 4 seconds, which made it a little bit better. So I took some images of it. Nothing I would consider to be, spectacular, nothing I would consider to be portfolio worthy, but certainly I was able to capture it. Hard to see with the naked eye, a lot easier to see once you had the camera out, and put a long lens on it, you could find it. Or with binoculars, you could find it. And my phone picked it up, but even that didn't do very well. All right, so what I'm going to do is, just so you can see what I did end up with, I'll put a couple of those images in here so you can see it. All right, so I want to end the video here really with just a couple comments. All right, first of all, this is the big day. It's my birthday. I turned 60 today. Took the day off from work. Figured I'd get up early, come out and see if I can find something in a new place, which is what I've been sharing with you. And for the most part, it's been beautiful to be out. The weather's great. Haven't captured a lot of great photos, but still got a chance to get out, which was really important. I've been dreading turning 60. Kids were over all weekend long. Grandkids were over and had a good time. Really enjoyed that, but I've been dreading this day. Don't know why. Can't tell you. I'm really curious. I know most of my viewers are around my age or older. Just curious, how do you feel about that turning 60? Was that a big deal to you? Did you all of a sudden start to see that there's certainly much fewer days ahead of you than there are behind you? I've struggled with it and love some insight from people who are there, how they've dealt with it or how they felt about it. Beginning to think about retirement now, and no, that's not too far off in my future, which, I don't know if that's a bad thing. It's certainly, after 40 years of doing what I do, it's probably a good idea to, turn around and try something new and take on a new adventure. So really curious what others think. How do you deal with it? How do you feel about it? What would you do if you're in my position? It's bothered me. Don't really know much, why. Can't really say why, but it definitely has. So I'm looking for some insight from some folks who have been there, or are there. How do you feel about it? What do you think? So please share those comments down below. I'd love to see it. Beyond that, we've been at this now for almost 4 years, got about 400 subscribers. Never had big grand visions of, millions of subscribers. I recognize I'm just an amateur out, learning how to video and trying to share some of how I go about doing things. So I didn't expect to have a big, gigantic following, but I will tell you this, I do enjoy doing it. I enjoy making the videos. I enjoy getting out and taking the images. It's a lot of fun. It gives me something to look forward to. So I do appreciate everybody tuning in. Do appreciate every subscriber. Appreciate everybody who views anything and leaves a comment, a thumbs up or a thumbs down. It really doesn't matter. It's all greatly appreciated. Sorry, a little choked up there, I guess. I don't know, but again, I want to thank you, everybody. It's greatly apprecited, and remember to like, comment, subscribe, share, do whatever. So until we see you again, stay safe.